Hi there everybody, welcome to part 2 of your pre-scene analysis. Now in this part 2, we are going to start with and we are going to deal with the major parts of this pre-scene. In part 1, we did a very quick introduction where we dealt with what my company is. So Cuppcarr is a large quoted company. It has 214 dealerships. We learned about we started learning about the car dealerships market and the different revenue sources for car dealership companies, such as new cars, used cars, your workshop, any other repairs, your finance services. All of these are different revenue forms for car dealership companies, and we did this as part of the introduction. Please go through part 1 again if you are not comfortable with it, rather than just going to part 2. Doesn't make sense moving on without being comfortable with the first part. So it's going to be very important that we ensure that part 1 is comfortable, then start with part 2. So part 1, we ended with servicing. We discussed the servicing part. We discussed our part sales. So part sales and servicing we dealt with. We are moving on to mechanical repairs. Now repairs may be required because of damage caused by an accident or failure of a component. These are generally non-routine in nature, and so customers may prefer to have their cars repaired at new car dealership workshop where the staff are experts. So when something big has happened, like a failure of a component or an accident, people will generally go to the dealership because they want experts working on their car. The cost of repair is often covered by a car manufacturer's warranty, which means the dealership invoices the car manufacturer instead of the customer. They don't take anything from the customer, but I invoice the car manufacturer. The manufacturer pays for it. Occasionally, a car manufacturer announces a recall of a model that may be subject to a known defect. In that case, customers are required to return their cars to one of the car manufacturer's new car dealerships for evaluation and or correction. So sometimes a recall can also be announced. Now, problem of revenue recognition taken up here. When will the revenue be recorded? It's such a very it's such a very valid question, because let's say you sold the car, but then there is a car recall, or there is a fault in the car. The customer gives it back and demands his money back. Same way, you give the car and then you have a servicing contract for the next 3 years. When do you record the revenue? That's a very realistic question. And I'm bringing it up because this is part of your F2 syllabus. And any of the work done in response to such recalls is charged to the car manufacturer. Yes, the car manufacturer pays it to you. But what if the customer demands his money back? What if it's a used car and the customer has the right to return it back in 7 days? When do you record the revenue? Big question, right? And often an exam question also comes up on this. So what I have done is I have given you supplementary reading, extra reading on IFRS 15 related to car dealerships, because I know that it will be difficult for you to relate. That is why I have created this extra supplementary reading. It's not part of the pre-scene. It's something extra which I am presenting, I am giving you. So recognizing revenue with the 5-step model. Now, auto dealerships must adopt the principle of the standard, which is that the company should recognize revenue in a way that depicts the transfer of promised goods or services to customers in an amount that reflects the consideration the company expects to be entitled to. So, how much ever you are going to be paid, that amount is recognized when there is a transfer of the promised goods or services. Goods meaning car, services meaning your after sale warranties or regular services. So you only record it when this has been provided. That's what the model states. So you can't record it just because you sold it. You record it when it's earned, which means when the car is transferred, when the service is completed. That's what they're saying over here. So what are the 5 steps? First step being identify the contract. So to be considered a contract, the agreement must meet specific criteria. The agreement must create enforceable rights and obligations between the dealership and the customer. The payment terms must be identifiable, very standard. Second, identify performance obligations. Next, you must apply judgment to identify your obligations. For example, the dealer that sells a vehicle and includes 5 years of free car washes has established 2 obligations. First one is the sale and second one is the service. What makes each obligation distinct is its ability to be perceived as separately deliverable. So you record the sale of the car when the car is given, when the money comes in, or rather when the car is given. And second, you record the sale of the car washes when the service is performed. So when the performance obligation is substantial, a portion of the transaction price should be allocated to this obligation, and the associated revenue would be recognized over 5 years. Just because you sold the service for 5 years, let's say for $100, you can't recognize the $100 today. It needs to be spread over the 5 years because you are going to provide it over 5 years. So same way, you sell the car today, okay, you record that. The car is transferred, you record that. You sell warranty service for the next extended warranty for 3 years, then over 3 years that amount will be spread up. So remember, first thing, you contract. Second thing, performance obligations. Are there 2 obligations or 3 obligations or 4 obligations? Identify them and see the time limit. Third, determine the transaction price. Obviously, determine the price that you are going to record, including your discounts, gift cards, this, that, whatever. Fourth, allocate the transaction price to the identified performance obligation. So for this obligation, this is the price. This obligation, this is the price. And last, recognize revenue when each obligation is satisfied. Once it's satisfied, only then you can record it. Not that, I sold it, so I record it. When it's satisfied, only then you can record it. So these are the 5 steps of revenue recognition, and I have mentioned it to you because this is, something that keeps coming up, and I have related it to the automobile dealership market for you with examples. But read through it so that you have a stronger hold, a stronger understanding. Now guess what? If an IFRS 15 question comes up in the exam, doesn't matter because you already have the pattern, the layout, the system that you are going to follow. That is why this supplementary reading is important. Let's go back to the pre-scene for bodywork repairs. Car bodies can be scratched or dented because of accidents. Again, car manufacturers require their dealerships to have the necessary equipment and skilled bodywork staff to repair any such damage. Finance and insurance is the next service that we offer. Remember, previous service that we were speaking of was your parts and sales and mechanical repairs. Under that, we dealt with bodywork repairs as well. Now coming to the next service altogether that car dealerships offer, which is finance and insurance. Now car dealerships can earn commissions for introducing car buyers to lenders and providers of other services such as extended warranties. These are referred to as finance and insurance. So you tell the car buyer, okay, go here, go to this bank, they will give you the loan. So the bank gives you a commission because you have recommended them. So our company sells related third-party insurance plans as well. This is an important consideration as it is an add-on service for customers. Extending our revenue sources and finding new sources will help generate extra profit for my business. Relationships with insurance companies will also have to be managed. Relationship management coming to the picture here. So a car dealership is not only a car dealership, it has so many revenue generating activities. Each is important. And managing relationships with these stakeholders is also very important. Negotiation can also come into the picture here because you want to negotiate for a good commission from the bank. So negotiating skills, bargaining skills become important here, and having good managers with these skills is a comparative advantage for any business. So customers often require personal leases or loans to finance their acquisition of a new or a used car. Car dealerships generally have a relationship with a bank or a leasing company that enables them to assist customers to complete an application for a loan or a lease, and banks pay a commission to the dealerships whenever such applications are accepted. So these are key points that you can mark it on, that I am helping my customers get personal leases, personal loans in a simple, easy way, and I'm also earning a commission on it. Dealerships also recommend service plans and extended warranties to customers. A service plan involves customers paying in advance for the car's routine servicing. That will cover servicing costs, routine service maintenance, but there can also be a lump sum advance payment that will cover servicing costs for say 3 years. Alternatively, the scheme might involve a monthly payment over the period covered by the plan. So there can be service plans, extended warranties. Remember IFRS 15, revenue recognition over here. As and when the obligation is completed, only then revenue is recognized. So we sell service plans, extended warranties. Service plans are usually offered by car manufacturers who pay dealerships a commission when they persuade customers to buy a service plan that covers their new car. So car manufacturer will say that sell this service plan. If you sell this service plan, we'll give you this much commission. Extended warranties supplement the standard guarantee offered on a new or a used car. Car manufacturers give standard warranties, typically for 3 years. Those warranties are transferable when cars are sold. So a customer buying a 2-year-old car would benefit from the remaining year of the 3-year warranty. So this is what the car manufacturers give you as a standard. Customers can, if they wish, pay to extend their warranty at the time of purchase. And extended warranties can be offered by warranty providers who pay dealerships a commission. Some dealerships offer their own extended warranty. So I have my own extended warranty system as well. The sale of extended warranties can be profitable if no claims are made. If no claim is made, you don't have to service that warranty, and obviously it's a cost saving for you. So when making decisions to offer these products, price elasticity of demand and factors affecting demand need to be evaluated. So looking at the past, looking at how the sale of extended warranties is related to price, looking at how demand changes if price changes. So price elasticity of demand needs to be looked at. Secondly, factors affecting this demand. If looking at the history, I want to know how many times this extended warranty is claimed. So what price I should charge, what price I should market for is important to consider. You don't want to make a loss. This is an extra service. You want to make a profit for your business. And to make these decisions, or to make any business decisions, decision trees can be used, and they do give decision trees. They'll give you the diagram of the decision tree in the exam, and they might ask you to explain it. So it's possible, this is available, and this comes up in the exam from your P2 syllabus. That is why I am pointing it out to you. The next thing we are discussing is, what is the role of staff in car dealerships? Please remember, we have not started to speak about the operations of my company, which is Cuppcarr. This is only industry background as part of the pre-scene that they have made available for you. So staff roles. The responsibilities associated with the operation of a car dealership are shared by a number of individuals. Lots and lots of revenue earning opportunities, which we dealt with. So lots and lots of managers, lots and lots of people. It's a labor intensive industry. First, there is dealership principal. Now the dealership principal is effectively the general manager in overall charge of the dealership. Dealership principals are usually employees, although the owner of a small independent dealership might undertake that role. So you'll have dealership principal or general manager at the top for each dealership. The dealership's principal responsibilities include supervision, oversight of inventory, marketing and promotion, maintaining customer satisfaction, oversight of finances, and compliance with rules and regulations. So the concept of authority, responsibility, and delegation to be revised here, because you've given him the designation of a dealership principal. But what if he doesn't have the right authority making power? What if he's not able to delegate well? What if he's not handling his responsibility well? So it's very important that because this is part of my E2 syllabus, I make a quick revision on these concepts. So dealership principal comes at the top. He's the general manager for the entire dealership. Dealership principals are usually rewarded on the basis of salaries plus performance related bonuses. So the concept of financial bonuses, non-financial bonuses, the method of appraising using the balance scorecard, performance appraisal using the balance scorecard, all of these are part of your P2 syllabus, which is very, very important that you revise them. And also setting the right critical success factors, setting the right KPIs to ensure that the principals, that the general managers achieve the goals will be important. So setting the correct key performance indicators and bringing in the concept of decentralization, which means not having all the power at the top, dividing the power throughout the organization so there is better controllability. So setting good critical success factors, related KPIs, and the concept of decentralization from your P2 syllabus become very important over here. Side by side, I also stated performance appraisal. If you want to see how the dealership principals performed, you can base them or base that on the balance scorecard, which can also be tested. So something that you revise. After that comes the sales managers and sales executives. So the sales executives are responsible for negotiating sales with customers. This requires sound product knowledge and the ability to match the customer's need with cars that are in inventory. So having skilled salesmen will obviously be a competitive advantage for any customer-oriented business. It may also be necessary to negotiate prices with customers who are seeking a discount or an increased valuation for the existing car that is being offered in part exchange. So I already told you, negotiating skills along with influence, persuasion skills are going to be vital for this market. This is in your E2 syllabus. And naturally, when you are making a sale, there is a possibility of conflicts. Within the organization, there can be conflicts if correct KPIs or unrealistic KPIs, unrealistic CSFs are set. So within the organization, there is possibility of conflict. Secondly, there is possibility of conflict with customers as well. And because I'm mentioning the word conflict over here, the concept of types of conflicts and how this can be managed, which is there in your E2 syllabus, is coming to mind for me. Sales managers have oversight of the car sales team. They monitor the performance of the sales executives. So, first your general manager, sales executives. These are the levels of how it's laid out. They also authorize any inducements that sales executives wish to offer to complete a sale. Sales staff generally receive a moderate salary, but again, performance-based payments. There is also business managers. Now, there was general manager, sales executive, sales managers. General manager, sales managers, sales executives. Now, in the same line of sales executive handling the front end of a car sale, the back end is handled by business managers, which is the sale of additional products, additional services, including finance, service plan, extended warranties. All of this is done by the back-end managers, which are called business managers. So sales executives directly dealing with the customer on selling the car. Business managers handling the back-end extra services that need to be offered. Both are very, very, very important for the business. So business managers are usually rewarded in a similar manner to the sales staff. There is service advisors and workshop staff as well. Now, car dealerships rely heavily on the revenue generated by their workshops. Most aim to capitalize on the relationship that has been established when the customers bought their cars. So when the customer comes to buy the car from you, he develops a relationship. This relationship is exploited further on by selling extra services, which is also related to workshop services. Service advisors act as a point of contact between customers requiring servicing or repairs. They book appointments and keep the customers informed. And if there are any issues, they will call the customer and talk to them. Service advisors must be able to inform customers of the implications of any such discoveries for their safety or for the reliability of the car. Service advisors can upsell workshop services. They might advise them of potentially beneficial preventive maintenance or any special offers such as discounts on new tires or extra services that you are offering, anything. So service advisors is a point of contact between customers requiring servicing or repairs and the dealership. So customer and dealership are connected by the service advisors, and they also upsell. On the other side, there is workshop staff who actually undertake the work. Routine servicing work is charged at a standard price per job that is often set by the manufacturer. For example, there will be a standard charge for replacing the oil. Non-routine servicing and repairs are priced individually. Like if your bumper is broken, the quote will be different. Something else is broken, new part change, quotes are taken for the same. Service advisors and workshop staff receive fixed salaries because their job is very well laid out and it has not something to do with, more sales, more benefit. But for service advisors, there is an upsell possibility that has been mentioned. So workshop staff, yes, I understand they receive salaries, but service advisors can have the opportunity to have performance-based goals. This is something for us to keep in mind. And from the next page onwards, we are going to start to talk about our company, which is Cuppcarr. Now finally, after all of this discussion, we are starting to speak about Cuppcarr, starting to speak about my company. Up until now, they were only giving you background information about how car dealerships generally work. So you have that knowledge, plus you have the knowledge of my extra industry analysis. So now we are finally starting with our company's operations, our company's details. So Cuppcarr was founded in 1964 when members of the Cupp family used their savings to launch a used car dealership. So it began as a used car dealership. The company grew rapidly, opening further dealerships and moving into new areas. So we were a company that was founded back in 1964, which means Cuppcarr has been in the market for 59 years. Again, think logically. Do you know any company, pick any company in the entire world, on the entire globe, who has been functioning for 59 years and is not doing well and is not succeeding? I don't think there will be very many cases. So when you have been in the market for 59 years, which means you have done well, you have goodwill, and you have resistance ability, because each market goes through booms, recession phases in 50 years, and if you have been able to survive, and if you've been able to grow, it says a lot about the company. The goodwill related topics in financial accounting become important here from your F2 syllabus, because we have been in the market for a long time and would have definitely garnered some goodwill here. So business has been functioning for a long time, 59 years, and has been growing. By the mid 1970s, Cuppcarr had established itself as a major car dealer with more than 40 dealerships. It had started to sell several leading brands of new cars and had a strong reputation for the sale of good quality used cars and for excellent customer service. So we started with selling used cars. Then by 1970s, we became a major car dealer selling several leading brands of new cars and used cars. But we are known for excellent customer service. Now this shows that we have been able to control our costs. A strong costing system to understand the different costs in an ever-changing business is important. Your service business related costing systems from your P2 syllabus become important here, like marginal costing, like life cycle costing, like activity based costing. These are important because your business has grown. Naturally, you have evolved and you have been able to control your costs. So this is a good thing for the business. Cuppcarr was quoted on the Valandian Stock Exchange in 1998. By then, the Cupp family had sold their interest in the company. So when it got listed, the Cupp family sold their interest in the company, made a big living like how it works in the real world, and they exited. There are now 214 Cuppcarr new car dealerships spread across Welland, and we employ 25,000 staff. Cuppcarr has at least 2 dealerships for each of the popular car manufacturers whose cars are sold in the country. So we have good relationships with these manufacturers. That is why they are giving us the dealerships. We have good customer service, and we have 214 new car dealerships. It's a very large business now, 25,000 people. So naturally, it's a huge comparative advantage for us that I'm a large company, well-established company in this market. Cuppcarr is one of the largest new car dealers in Welland, both in terms of dealerships and revenue. The company invests heavily in product training and sales training for all customer-facing staff. We have understood the importance of being able to have good sales representatives, good sales executives. And this is going to be a major cost of the business, as we have discussed before as well. Investing in training, investing in development is important. Each of the company's dealerships is designed to create a positive impression. Each dealership's signage shows both the Cuppcarr logo and the logo of the car manufacturer whose cars it sells. Branding, brand management has been given importance here. For any business surviving for so long, goodwill, brand recognition, brand management will be key. F2 syllabus. So when you see a Cuppcarr dealership, you will see first the Cuppcarr name, or logo, and under it the manufacturer's logo as well. So people know that this is owned by Cuppcarr. They know they're going to get a good product, they're going to get good service, because that's what my business is core strength is. The dealerships are large and are designed to attract customers. They are located alongside main roads, often close to motorway junctions, making them convenient for customers. So they are large and convenience to customers is, present. Most of Cuppcarr's customers research the purchase of a new car or a used car online, and then they visit their local dealership because they also want to narrow down their options and then choose. So it is, however, becoming increasingly common for customers to choose and purchase cars online for home delivery, something new. The dealership principal in charge of each dealership is granted a significant amount of discretion over operational matters, including pricing of new and used cars, recognizing that each brand of car may require a different sales approach. Okay, so they are telling us that our dealership principals or the general managers are given good discretion, so good responsibility, good authority. So experienced dealership principals who manage well and know the different features of management to control a big dealership will be important. So like I said, we are giving them authority, we are giving them responsibility, we are empowering them, which is important for today's modern businesses. So Cuppcarr is headed in the right direction in terms of giving importance to dealership principles. One by one, we'll deal with each segment now. So Cuppcarr's new car sales. First, we'll speak about new car sales. Cuppcarr has varying number of dealerships for each popular brand. For example, it has 17 dealerships selling the Bartow Motors brand and 2 that sell Limolux. So each car manufacturer, as popular as they are, we take dealerships accordingly. Bartow Motors is one of Welland's most popular brands, and Cuppcarr is keen to have as many dealerships selling its cars as possible. Limolux is an exclusive brand of luxury cars with a limited market. So we are not only focusing on the fast moving market or consumer segment cars, we are dealing with exclusive high-end cars as well. So we have our foot in the entire car dealership segment. Normal budget cars plus luxury cars. 2 dealerships are sufficient for Cuppcarr to cover the whole of Welland. Targeted marketing and choice of location will be key advantages in this market. Like I told you, the decision trees can be used to make a decision as to where a particular dealership should be situated. They'll tell you we have 2 dealership options. This is the decision A, this is the decision B. Explain it. So your decision trees from P2 become important. Cuppcarr is in competition with other dealers for new car sales as well. The situation that we see over here will be called brand competition. I told you in the industry analysis as well, your rivalry is going to be fierce because Cuppcarr is, for example, selling Bartow Motors. Your competitor is also selling Bartow Motors cars. Why should people buy from Cuppcarr? There has to be some differentiating factor, right? So the differentiating factor is the brand, the Cuppcarr brand. Because they know when they come to you, you are going to provide excellent service, good price, and your sales executives are very, very, let's say enthusiastic, and they know what they're doing. So this is the situation of brand competition. Brand competition can be defined as the rivalry between the companies offering same line of product, same target market, same audience, same goals. Only difference is the brand. So for the brand to stand out, you need to have certain competitive advantage, which is my core values of excellent service, excellent staff, good quality, knowledge of my sales executives. All of these are why people come to Cuppcarr to buy a Bata Motors car, for example. So Bata Motors has 370 franchise dealerships in Welland. These are distributed across the country and are at least 5 miles apart. But they still compete with one another because customers are generally willing to drive to a more distant dealership so that they get a better price on their car. For example, there are 6 Bata Motor dealerships in Central City, 2 of which owned by Cuppcarr, and other 4 to competing chains of dealers. Cuppcarr's dealership principals pay close attention to the activities of rival dealerships because naturally, if you are offering X price, somebody is offering Y price, which is lower than you and the same amount of service, customer is going to go over there. So, knowledge about the market, knowledge about the external market is very important. Competition analysis, benchmarking becomes important from your E2 syllabus. After that, Cuppcarr earned an average gross profit of 2913 per new car sold, including manufacturer's bonuses for the year ended 31st December 2022. Okay, so if you sell a new car, your average gross profit from that car is 2913. Cuppcarr aims to maximize sales in a number of different ways. Because as we know, there are very many different revenue generating opportunities. Just selling the car is one part. By selling the car, you're only making a gross profit of 2913. So you need to sell other services. And how do we maximize sales? First one being presentation. So every dealership has a receptionist who greets potential customers and directs them to available sales executives. All incoming emails and telephone voicemails must receive a response on the day of the receipt. So we want to provide good customer service from the very start, that the very start of the customer's journey with us, whether they are entering the store or they are calling us. Sales executives must be smartly dressed during working hours. They are required to be experts in their car brand, and they must also be aware of any promotions being offered by Cuppcarr or by car manufacturers. So your sales executives also need to be well dwelled into this industry and must be aware of promotions by us or by the car manufacturer. Now, throughout the entire process, we have seen the chance to upsell and improve our sales. So a quality customer relations team representative will be very important as your competitive advantage. And I have already spoken about responsibility, delegation, leadership styles for you. Second way we aim to maximize sales is customer care. Cuppcarr aims to develop a strong relationship with each of its customers, primarily through after-sales services provided by its workshops. So since we have different workshops and different dealerships, there will surely be movement of parts, goods, parts, spare parts or services between these dealerships, between these workshops. I have 214 dealerships and generally each dealership has a workshop. So 214 workshops. There will be movement of parts, spare parts, people between these dealerships. So this service or the internal exchange of goods, parts, brings in the question of transfer pricing. So this can bring in our transfer pricing concept and possibly affect our tax situation because different states as well have different tax policies within Welland. That's a possibility. Majorly, let's think about transfer pricing concepts over here. As in, what internal price am I charging? What internal transfer price am I charging for the goods or the services? Is it an arm's length price? Is it a decided price? That's my P2 syllabus. The entire concept of transfer pricing is in the P2 syllabus. And I'm also mentioning this because there can be a possibility in the exam where they say that, okay, now we have opened up a dealership in X country, in another country. The movement of spare parts will take place from Welland to this country. Transfer pricing is an issue. How do we take care of transfer pricing? So straight away you have an opportunity to use your knowledge, because I have identified this as an important topic, or a topic which is often asked in the exam, and that is why I'm making you revise it over here itself. So any situation comes up, you will be able to answer it. Customers are more likely to buy a new car from a dealership that has been reliable and has offered good value for money. Cuppcarr aims to exceed expectations in dealing with workshop customers. Cars are washed and polished after each service at no additional charge to the customer. So you are providing extra services to maintain that relationship and ensure that the customer stays with you. Any complaints are addressed immediately by the workshop manager, who will attempt to meet the customer's wishes. So again, setting the correct CSFs, KPIs for staff to encourage them to achieve this is important. We need to motivate the staff to make sure that they're doing the best for the customer. So KPIs can be workshop inventory turnover, sales revenue, number of happy customers after a service, compliance metrics in workshop jobs. They could be anything, but related to achieving high service levels. Just giving you some examples over here. Service advisors are authorized to offer discounts when customers face large and unforeseen repair bills. This often encourages customers to agree to have the fault rectified immediately, creating revenue for the workshop and generating customer goodwill. So service advisors will say that, okay, your car is coming for a regular service, we'll do that. But there's an unforeseen repair charge for the brake pads, for example, but we'll give you a discount on it. So we are creating that customer welfare goodwill by offering them a service which is needed but still at a good price. So when offering discounts, it is important to understand the variable costs and consider only relevant costs for making a decision. Relevant costing, P2 syllabus. Sales executives are expected to generate sales leads by telephoning previous customers to ask whether they are happy with their car or if they want to change. If the customer has no immediate plan to replace the car, then the sales executive will schedule a follow-up call after an appropriate interval, let's say 2 months, 5 months, 6 months, whatever. But this is how the Cuppcarr, this is how Cuppcarr is looking to maximize sales. Firstly, by presentation. Secondly, by customer care. Thirdly, by pricing. If no good price is offered, no matter how good your service is, nobody is going to buy from you. So it may be necessary to offer a customer a discount against a car's maximum retail price. Let's say the price set by the manufacturer is 100,000 or 10,000. For a simple example, let's say 10,000. You can offer a discount on it and let go a little bit of your margin to prevent the loss of a sale to a rival dealership. The margin is small, so the discount can result in the car being sold at a loss. But that still makes good business sense if the alternative would be the loss of the financial incentive paid by a manufacturer for achieving the target for sales volume. Remember, you sold the car at the loss, but by selling some cars at a loss, you are able to get a sales volume figure, and because of that sales volume figure, the car manufacturer pays you a financial incentive, which at the end of the day is covering up pretty much everything. So sell the car at the loss, so that there are future opportunities to gain profit. For example, I sell the car at the loss, but I have an option when it comes in for workshop services, or when I have to offer my financing solutions. All of this is going to raise revenue or create revenue for the business. So I sell the car upfront at a loss, but it still gives me lots of opportunities to earn in the future. So this pricing technique is generally called loss leader pricing. This is from your P2 syllabus. A loss leader pricing strategy is one in which a product is sold at a price below the cost in order to attract customers who will buy more profitable services in the future. So in this case, it's not below the cost, but it's below the maximum retail price, offering a discount on the retail price or matching it to the cost. But it ensures that in the future, more profitable services will be sold. So following are key points on loss leader offerings. You are offering at a loss at the beginning, but consider the customer average lifetime value. Over the lifetime of the customer, how many times will he come back to you? How many times are you able to bring him back to you to sell another service? That needs to be considered. Next, set limits on the offer. The most common practice when employing a loss leader strategy is to specify a limited time for the offer, such as 1 day or only to a set of customers. In the automotive purchase or repair, there might also be limits on the vehicles that are eligible for this special price. So right now I am selling this car at this much, but it's only available for 1 week. That creates the need, okay, I will go and buy this car from the customer's end. And third, apply conditions to the offer. Loss leader pricing generally comes with conditions. An obvious condition to provide the service is for the customer to provide their email address or cell phone number to be used for marketing purposes, for example. So another condition might be to specify that a safety inspection will be performed while the vehicle is in the shop. The idea is to ensure that there will be opportunity for future business. Right now you are selling at a loss, but you will have to recover it by selling services, profitable services in the future. So as of now, we do accept the loss leader pricing strategy and do accept that this happens in a business. Now these dealerships can also offer upgrades in order to persuade customers to sign a sales contract. Those could be minor items such as offering free floor mats or a free tank of petrol, or they could involve replacing a standard item such as a sat-nav system with a more advanced model. So rather than simply giving a discount, you can also add new offerings as well. Each sale must be approved by a new car sales manager before it is finalized. Approval includes authorizing any discounts and agreeing the trade-in value of the customer's old car. After that, we maximize sales by having good inventory availability. Now, Cuppcarr maintains a current list of new and used cars that are held across the company. That list can be assessed by all sales executives. If a customer is interested in buying a particular model of a new car that is not held by the dealership, then the sales executive can check whether another Cuppcarr dealership for that brand has the car. Cuppcarr's policy is to transfer cars between dealership if that is necessary to make a sale. So like I told you, since we have different dealerships and cars are being transferred between them, our transfer pricing concept comes into the picture. Know the different transfer pricing systems we can have, as each system will affect the recording of profit for each dealership, which dealership principals or the general managers may be concerned about. This is part of your P2 syllabus, a very important area in your P2 syllabus, which I have already mentioned. Cuppcarr can order specific models from manufacturers, although there can be a significant lead time before orders are fulfilled, which can irritate customers. They don't want to wait. They've come with the money, they want to buy the car. Many car factories are located overseas, and so building a car to order and importing it to Welland can take several weeks and sometimes even months as well. Remember, you are buying these cars from car manufacturers which are situated overseas, which means the foreign exchange principle is coming to the picture over here, because you might have transactions in foreign currency, so your IAS 21 from your F2 syllabus becomes important. Next, we maximize sales by using data analytics as well. So one of Cuppcarr's directors has specific responsibility for the management of information technology. The company has a business intelligence system that enables the collection and analysis of data from internal and external sources without having to specify queries in advance or impose a structure on that data. So we have a very good business intelligence system that enables the collection and analysis of data. So this is my competitive advantage. This is an intangible asset of the business, because I have a well-generated intelligence system or a software that is present. And one director has been given responsibility for this. Cuppcarr's management team frequently uses data mining techniques to identify useful patterns and relationships that can be used to improve revenues and profitability. So can this further be leveraged to take into the next level with sophisticated big data management softwares? E2 syllabus. Let's have a supplementary reading on a study on big data and its opportunities. Now, one challenge for automotive dealerships is how to engage with customers more profitably. Dealers collect a great deal of data, but they don't often use it well. By understanding the data in detail, you can serve your customer in a very good way, in a very, and can increase the sales profitability for your company. The first way we can use big data is predictive marketing. So they have told us that we often have data analysis, data mining going on, but they have not mentioned anything about a sophisticated big data management software or a big data management system. So if we have that system in place, then we can use it for predictive marketing, understand the workshop records, the vehicle data of customers, and then serve them in a better way by contacting them, offering them, and giving them a service that they will really value. Second, you can use big data for customer satisfaction monitoring. Customer data can be extracted from workshop systems and vehicle sales invoices. Once the data is cleansed, checked, and categorized, the relevant customers can be asked to take part in satisfaction surveys. Data categorization means that surveys can be segmented according to whether the respondent is a private customer or a corporate customer, and the results can be used to create a customer satisfaction index, which can be set as a KPI for different departments. But it's only possible if you have all of this data, if you're extracting this data and using this big data to develop something like this. So I'm giving you a ready-made analysis on how our company can use big data, of how our company can take IT usage that we currently have, which is good, to the next level. Third, efficiency improvements. Consolidated dealership data can be used to monitor your stock levels, ensuring you have the right staff in the right place. And our systems can predict sales and automatically recommend which parts should be reordered. So big data can be used throughout the organization for predictive marketing, customer satisfaction monitoring, or efficiency improvements. Just giving an example. So my thoughts are that one of the greatest strengths of market leaders has always been that they don't want to wait for competitors to come along and disrupt its business. Rather, it is constantly disrupting itself, completely doing something new. Some of the market leaders' efforts have paid off, and major companies are using big data. So the point for me to tell you all of this is that our company can do the same. We are a big market leading company in Welland and have been in this industry for a very long time. So something like this could be a huge opportunity for us. So I'm giving you a ready-made analysis on big data over here so that we have an understanding of how our company can promote this and use this. So this was a supplementary reading on big data. Back to the pre-scene now. The next service that we offer to increase our sales is fleet leasing. So Cuppcarr has a fleet leasing department at head office that manages fleet leasing for businesses that require 5 cars or more. These cars are then supplied on an operating lease, usually for 2 years. These cars are returned to Cuppcarr at the end of the lease. They are usually in good condition and taken into the used car inventory. The fleet leasing department purchases cars from Cuppcarr dealerships. So the Cuppcarr dealership sells it to the fleet leasing department. Dealerships can count sales made to fleet leasing towards their sales volume, which can be important in ensuring that they meet the threshold for manufacturer sales incentives. Again, these are internal transfers, so transfer pricing and setting arm's length prices will be key to avoid government scrutiny. This was all related to Cuppcarr's new car sales. Now to used car sales. Most car buyers expect car dealerships to take their existing cars in part exchange when they buy new or used cars. Which means if I'm coming to you to buy a new car or a used car, I will expect you to take my existing car and give me a price for it. The car sales industry shares information about the market values of used cars, taking account of the model, condition, and other relevant factors. Cuppcarr's sales executives are encouraged to offer generous valuations for customers' part exchange cars in order to complete the sales. Because if I know that right now if I'm making a small loss, or right now if I'm completing the sales, then future I will be able to sell other services. So back to the loss leader mindset that we have spoken about. The sticker selling price of each used car is displayed on its windscreen and is stated on Cuppcarr's website. Each used car's selling price is set by the head of used car sales within each dealership. So within each dealership, you will have a head of used car sales. And then under him, you will have used car sales executives that have discretion to offer discounts, which is authorized by the managers. Cuppcarr often earns more profit from the sale of used cars than from new. So average gross profit here is 3146. Over there it was 29 something. So you're earning more when you're earning more profit when you are selling a used car. So planning for time, activity, resources, planning for time, planning for activity, planning for resources, planning for quality will be key for used car services, as this is a major profit generating department for my business. So E2 syllabus, if you don't have the right inventory, if you don't have the right resources, if you don't have the right time management, if you don't have the right staff, then how will you sell a used car? So this is your E2 syllabus coming into the picture here. that was higher than the industry average, which can be attributed to the high quality of the used cars that Cuppcarr sells. If you're selling a new car or an old car, doesn't matter, our quality remains good. The company works hard to maintain that profitability. So we spoke about how we generate profits on new cars. Same way, we'll speak about how we generate profitability on used cars. First, metrics remain the same. First being presentation. Every dealership has a designated area set aside for the display and sale of used cars. That area is well signposted and is furnished to the same high standard as the adjacent section for new car sales. Used car sales executives are subject to the same dress code as the new car sales executives. They are sales executives at the end of the day. They are expected to be familiar with the current inventory in order to assist and advise customers. They are required to test drive any models so that they are familiar with the car's characteristics. So since this is concerned with health and safety, the quality costs and the costs of failing quality will be unacceptable. Let's say you don't test drive a car and then you sell it without knowing the actual characteristics, or your sales executive does this. The customer hasn't fully understood what the details of the car are. Yes, the onus is on the customer as well, but as a selling entity, because this is a health and safety issue, car related, anything is health and safety relation. So quality costs and costs of failing quality will be unacceptable. Throughout our entire business, appraisal costs, prevention costs, internal failure, external failure costs will be very important for our business to look at, because our business's core is quality. Because my business's core strength is the focus on quality and the focus on providing great customer satisfaction. The second way we maintain profitability is by quality. So every car taken in part exchange is examined for quality. Cars that do not meet the company's quality standards are sold on a wholesale basis to other dealers. So when completing a sale, important to keep in mind customer profitability and lifetime customer value. Remember that. We already spoke about this when we did the loss leader mindset. But continuing, Cuppcarr buys used cars both from other dealers and from individuals. Any such purchases are restricted to cars that are in excellent condition, that can be sold as nearly new. All used cars are checked thoroughly, both mechanically and for bodywork. Any minor problems are rectified before the car is displayed for sale. Used cars are also thoroughly cleaned both inside and out. So this also means that our company focuses on quality and hence high prices. We already know this. We may charge a little bit higher than the others, or we may match them, but our service will be top notch. Next, we have positioning. Sometimes a car that is accepted in part exchange does not fill with my target market. For example, a Limolux dealership might accept a small hatchback, but when you are selling luxury cars, you don't want to sell hatchbacks, right? So then it will be relocated to a dealership that specializes in the mass market cars. So positioning, niche markets, appearances will be very important. Then there is after sales. Used cars may have undetected faults that only become apparent once they have been resold. So Cuppcarr takes great care to ensure that problems are addressed quickly in a satisfactory manner. Cuppcarr offers a 7-day money-back guarantee on all used cars. And customers are given the choice between having any fault rectified or claim a refund. So revenue recognition, remember I spoke about it, is an issue, can be considered over here. Next, online sales. Cuppcarr's website can be searched to show the new and used cars that are available at every dealership. Every used car is listed on the website with a detailed description, supported by 20 pictures. So having a strong website management team can be seen as a competitive advantage here. We have already spoken about the benefits of using data in this business. So strong website management is important. Customers can select suitable cars that can be seen at their local dealerships, and they can also buy the car online. Online purchases must be paid for before the delivery, but they again have the 7-day money back guarantee. So customers are not too concerned, and online sales are increasing because of convenience. So this was my second operation. First operation was selling new cars. Second operation was selling used cars. The third service that Cuppcarr offers is parts and car service. Each Cuppcarr dealership has a workshop that is staffed and equipped to service and repair all models of new car sold by the dealership. So every dealership has a workshop. 214 dealerships, 214 workshops. Car manufacturers specify the work that is required during each year's service. Some parts must be replaced, but not necessarily every year. Cuppcarr maintains detailed records of the service histories of the cars that it sells and services. Customers are reminded when their service falls due. So remember, big data opportunity, we already spoke about this. I already gave you the example of how we can use big data to serve customers better. One way was reminding services for customers. One way was reaching out customers on a timely manner. Failure to have a car serviced can invalidate the manufacturer's warranty, so it's very important that a service is performed. Repairs are also an issue. Components can wear out or suffer accidental damage, causing problems that may be specific to a particular model of a car. And each dealership has the diagnostic equipment and tools recommended by the dealership's brand manufacturers so that the cars can be repaired properly. So we have good invested in diagnostic equipment and tools. This equipment will need regular maintenance and replacement. Raising of finance to acquire new equipment can come up, can be a situation. Because you are raising finance, you should know the different financing options available in equity, available in debt. This is very important because these are finance raising for any company is very happens every day for every company because finance is required. So different equity options, different financing options for debt need to be kept in mind. F2 syllabus. And because I'm speaking about finance, IAS 33 rights issues can come to the picture. So what are rights issues? How are they accounted for? Effects of rights issues, convertible bonds. All of this can be an exam scenario which comes up. We want to raise finance. We are going for a rights issue. How will this affect and how this will be taken forward? This can be a question. And since we are speaking about equity, since we are speaking about debt, it's very important to understand our current weighted average cost of capital and the effect on weighted average cost of capital. So if you take on more equity, what will happen to the WACC? If you take on more debt, what will happen to the WACC? You should be able to explain this effect. This is also in your F2 syllabus. So we'll be looking at the company's gearing and the company's financials deeper into the pre-scene, and we'll analyze, if we can take more debt or more equity. But right now, no, even if you take more debt, more equity, there will be an effect on the weighted average cost of capital, which is important for us to understand. All the workshop staff that we have are given specific training in the models of new cars that the dealership sells. That training is ongoing with updates for new models or changes to the design of existing models. So specific training is given. We already know that training development is something that our company invests in. Now this is going to be one of the major costs for the organization. Finding and holding on to expert workshop employees throughout the organization will be seen as a competitive advantage in this market. So it will be important for new car sales, used car sales, IT, marketing, your parts and services department to work in tandem. The KPIs and goals should be interlinked to make sure that the organization benefits overall. Because you don't want dysfunctional behavior presiding in an organization. If, for example, the new car salesman is not willing to take the customer's old car in exchange for the new car, then how will the used car sales department have a used car to sell to another customer? It's a whole interlinked system that my business has. So the KPIs and goals should be interlinked, because you don't want dysfunctional behavior, which is a term in your P2 syllabus, where departments think about themselves only, which is not good. They need to think about the overall success of the organization. Next, dealerships buy the parts that they use in servicing and repair from wholesalers who specialize in supplying the motor trade. Wholesalers buy parts in bulk, importing parts from many different countries. Dealerships must use parts made by car manufacturers, approved makers, on cars under warranty. Otherwise, the current warranty will be rendered invalid. Wholesalers can also supply good quality generic parts from makers who are not approved. So you buy parts from manufacturer approved makers if the car is in warranty. You can buy generic parts from not approved makers. Their makers often claim that their products match or even exceed the quality of parts from approved makers. Now the whole process we run is about focus on quality and service. So the prices are going to be high to meet these high standards. For example, several companies make brake pads that fit the Bata Motors cars. Only one of those makers is approved by Bata Motors, but independent tests have shown that all are at least as good and some are even better. So it's not that only approved part makers are good in quality. You can buy it from elsewhere as well and achieve a better result as well. Generic parts are usually cheaper than approved parts. Cuppcarr sometimes buys generic parts for use on cars that are no longer under warranty and passes the cost saving to the customer. So we could also face a scenario where we have our inventory buying department placed in another country as the management or the purchasing face of the company. So from the car manufacturer, you are buying it in another country and then transferring it to Cuppcarr dealerships in Welland. So this would mean the evidence of a subsidiary, which brings in your consolidation topics and it brings in your transfer pricing topics as well. They will say that we have now set up a buying department in country X, which is a neighboring country. This company will buy the cars and then transfer it to our different Welland Cuppcarr dealerships. So transfer pricing, they can ask you anything related to subsidiary accounting, they can ask you because of this situation. So I'm already putting your head in that direction over here. Dealerships are also equipped to carry out repairs to bodywork. Cars that have been involved in collisions or minor scrapes require specialized equipment to repair them properly. Each dealership has a modern spray booth that can accommodate a car or any of its body panels. A technician applies paint and clear coating using a spray gun. This is a skilled task because paint has to be applied evenly. The booths are ventilated and heated so that the paint dries quickly, speeding up the process and enhancing the quality. So we have place in the workshop to do body work as well, which includes paint, and here also you have specialized equipment. So when there is specialized equipment, it's high in cost, and generally finance will be needed if you want to replace this or improve this. So we've already spoken about finance. The fourth service that Cuppcarr offers is Cuppcarr's finance and insurance services. First was new car sales, used car sales, parts and workshop services. Fourth one is finance and insurance services. Now, each of Cuppcarr's dealerships has a team of business managers who meet with customers after they have agreed to buy a new or a used car. We know this. These business managers will try to sell servicing, servicing and warranty packages that can generate additional profit for the dealership. First, finance. Finance can take the form of car loans or leases for the acquisition of new or used cars. Cuppcarr has a relationship with the Bank of Welland, which is a reputable bank. Another important stakeholder for our business, which will have to be managed. It is also opening up a revenue avenue for us. Business managers can explain how the bank's loans and leases work, and they can assist customers in the completion of loan or lease applications. And Cuppcarr will receive a commission for every successful application submitted to the bank. So our business has multiple revenue generating units, and accurate costing and pricing of business functions will be very important. When I'm talking about pricing, when I'm talking about costing, arriving at an accurate cost, accurate price, ABC is often suggested. Activity-based costing in your P2 syllabus is often suggested for service organizations as it has many advantages. So like before, when I introduce an important topic, I want to give you a supplementary reading on the same. I've already given you a supplementary reading on revenue recognition, on big data. Now I'm giving you a supplementary reading on ABC as well. So if an ABC question comes up in the exam, you already have a layout which you will be able to follow, which you will be able to simply pick up and then relate to the question and put it over there. So ABC people think is generally used for manufacturing organizations. However, many service organizations such as banks, hospitals, airlines, government agencies, car dealerships are using it. The steps remain the same. The first step being identify costly activities. So let's say our parts and services or our workshop department is using ABC as an example. So activities such as workshop activities or meeting with customers, reviewing customer loan applications, accompanying customers for test drives, etc. This is our activities. For example, I'm saying. And for different departments, there would be different activities. I have just given you some examples over here. Second, assign overhead costs to the activities. So costs assigned to the activity of reviewing customer loan applications include items such as wages of the personnel reviewing applications, depreciation of the computer equipment, supplies needed for the review process. So let's say activities customer loan applications. And what is generating this cost? the person who is sitting there, so the wages, the depreciation of the equipment, the supplies needed for this review process, so any stationery or hardware or whatever, these all are generating the costs. So what will be the cost drivers? For example, reviewing customer applications can be number of applications. Meeting with customers, cost drivers can be hours of the meeting. Step number 4, calculate a predetermined overhead rate for each activity. This is done by dividing estimated overhead costs for each activity by the estimated cost driver activity. So if meeting with customers has been 40 hours and total is 40 hours. So meeting with customers cost 100,000, 40 hours. So 100,000 divided by 40 will give you the rate per hour. For the activity meeting with customers, this calculation results in a rate per hour of the meeting like just I showed you. For the activity reviewing customer applications, it can be rate per application. And step number 5, allocate to the products, allocate to the services. So overhead is allocated or applied to the products based on the use of each activity's cost driver. So if an executive spends 30 hours in meetings, what was the rate per hour of a meeting? Let's say 5. So 30 into 5 will be allocated over there. So you see, ABC is used in service organizations and is very beneficial for service organizations as well. So it's not that ABC is only for manufacturing organizations. Absolutely not. It is used for service organizations as well, and I've given you a supplementary reading on this to prove it. We are now coming back to the pre-scene at the end of this supplementary reading section. So customers are free to arrange finance with other providers as well. This is just a service that we are offering because we can earn a percentage on it. Or they can purchase cars with cash from their savings. Cuppcarr does not receive any commission from finance packages made independently by customers. Only if they do it through you with the Bank of Welland, Cuppcarr receives a percentage. Second is service plans for new cars. Customers can buy service plans that enable them to prepay for annual servicing for up to 3 years. The prepayment takes the form of either a single lump sum when the car is purchased or a series of monthly payments for the duration of the plan. Car manufacturers sell service plans on new cars with dealerships receiving a commission when a customer buys a plan. So this is another revenue generating area for us. Cuppcarr's business managers advise customers that the total cost of buying individual services will be more expensive than the cost of a service plan. So buy the service plan, it's good for the customer, plus it gives us, Cuppcarr, a percentage because car manufacturers are giving you a commission if you sell service plans. Car manufacturers' service plans require the servicing to be carried out by a franchise dealership only. Customers who have service plans book their annual service with the dealership, and the dealership then invoices the car manufacturer for undertaking the service. So car manufacturer, whatever the price is for that service, the car manufacturer will pay for it. Again, this will be in a different currency because car manufacturers are situated all over the world. So your foreign currency is coming into the picture again and again because of the global nature of this industry. Next, we have extended warranty for new cars. Now, new cars come with a warranty against manufacturing defects for a designated period. Most warranties expire after 3 years, but they can be for as long as 7 years. Many car manufacturers offer to sell customers extended warranties, which can increase the length of the warranty by 2 to 4 years. Car manufacturers offer their dealerships commissions for the sale of extended warranties. And Cuppcarr's business managers advise customers to take advantage of those for the reassurance that their cars will be guaranteed against manufacturing defects for longer. So again, commissions given for extended warranty, commissions given for service plans, commission is being received, and different revenue generating avenues are being created for my company. Customers can return their car to any of their brand's franchise dealerships if a defect arises. The dealership repairs it and then invoices the car manufacturer. So like I said, is the invoice in the home currency W dollars? If the car manufacturer's currency is different, foreign exchange transactions, I've already spoken about this. We also offer extended warranty on used cars. So if I sell a used car, I will give you the chance to buy an extended warranty on that as well. So Cuppcarr sells used cars with a 7-day money-back guarantee and a 90-day warranty against any mechanical defects that were present at the time of sale. Customers can buy extended warranties from third parties that cover the cost of the failure of any components. Cuppcarr recommends a particular extended warranty from a third-party company in return for a commission from this provider. So we tell them, okay, buy the extended warranty from here. You will receive a commission on the same. Cuppcarr's revenues and gross profits for the years ended 31st December 2022 can be broken down as follows. So if I look at the revenue, majority came from new cars. Used cars generated 35% of the revenue. Parts and services, 17%. Finance and insurance, lowest at 7%. But if I look at the gross profit, it's very interesting because the services which are generating less revenue are the most profitable ones. Finance insurance only generated 7% of the revenue. But out of my total gross profit, 21% came from finance and insurance. So it's a very important part for my business. Same way, parts and services, only 17% revenue, but 35% gross profit was generated. Whereas new cars and used cars, which are the reason why the car dealership exists, generated only 20 and 24% gross profit, respectively. So this again showcases the loss leader mindset. Sell the new cars or sell the used cars for a less price or a discounted price to complete the sale, so that deeper into the life of the car, you can sell parts and service. You can have the opportunity for parts and service. And while selling, you have the opportunity to give finance, insurance, and earn a commission on the same. So my less revenue generating parts of the business are giving me more gross profit. So I need to ensure that I focus on them and not just look at, okay, this is not generating revenue, I will not focus on it. No, it's not generating revenue, but it's giving you a good, healthy, great gross profit. This is a very important analysis which you need to keep in your mind. Because if in any situation in the exam, they tell you that our director is saying that finance and insurance is a very small percentage of our revenue. So let's focus on the sale of used cars more. What is your opinion? Straight away you should say that, okay, it's generating 7% of the revenue. But if I look at gross profit, it's generating 21% of my gross profit. You don't remember the percentages or the numbers, but you need to know that it's a major chunk of your gross profit. This is an important analysis to keep in mind, like I said. Now we are moving to Cuppcarr's board structure. Now it's very important to understand the structure of the board, how the board is laid out, but also important to know which person is looking at which department. Because sometimes they will say that Chandrasekhar feels like dealership operations need to be changed. For example, I'm saying. But if you don't know who Chandrasekhar is, then you'll have to open up the pre-scene and spend time finding what this person is and what this person deals with. It will take away 4, 5, 6 minutes of your time in the exam, or even 2, 3, 4 minutes. Why do you want to give that time? Going through the pre-scene multiple times before the date of the exam is going to be a very important skill or a very important advantage that you have. So please make sure that you do it. It's not like, pre-scene is available, so I'll just open it anytime in the exam and read it. But it's going to waste valuable time. 45 minutes is a very limited time when you have a lot of things to do. So it's very important that you know the structure of your board. So we have Michelle Brennan at the top, who is the Chief Executive Officer. Under, we have Chandar Shekhar, who's looking at Chief Operating, or who is the Chief Operating Officer, who is looking at operations. We have Daniela Trigiano, Marketing Director. We have Lambros, who is the IT Director. So we have board representation for IT. And we have Valerie, who is a Finance Director. So Finance Director obviously looking at management accounting, financial reporting and treasury. IT Director looking at dealership data processing, data exchange and IT security. This is very important. This is very vital to know that we have board representation for IT. So IT is very important for the business, and IT is a very important function overall for the business. And we have seen that in our pre-scene analysis till now. But the next step for IT, which is big data which is big data processes, which is the potential of big data, can be taken seriously because we have one director who is looking at IT specifically. Next, we have marketing director who is looking at marketing, relationship with car manufacturers and customer satisfaction. And then we have Chandar Shekhar looking at HR and dealership operations. So in the future, you can have a different HR director as well, because looking at HR, 25,000 employees plus dealership operations, 214 dealerships. As the business grows, Chandar might not be able to do everything. So HR director is something that generally large businesses, large organizations have, and it could be an addition in the future. But currently, looking at all of this, it's a very clear functional structure. So we can say that a functional structure seems to be in place where activities are grouped together. IT director looking at IT, finance director looking at finance. The benefits are that there is specialization, better control, and scope for expansion. Like I said, if you want a separate HR director, you can simply expand. Limitations are slow, long decision-making process and conflicts between departments. In the future, you could be asked to move to a divisional structure or a matrix structure as our organization continues to grow, and this is there in your E2 syllabus, and that is why I am pointing it out. They are also telling us that these 5 directors mentioned here are called executive directors because they are involved in the day-to-day running of the organization. But they're telling us that we have 5 non-executive directors as well. So we have Sehan looking at who is the non-executive chairman. We have Safa, Anas, Ekanem and Par Ottoson, who are part of the non-executive directors group. Fine. But if I look at an overall view, the structure of the organization, we can see that the corporate governance code has been honored in terms of balance of the board. There are 5 executives, 5 non-executives. That is what the corporate governance code says. For listed companies, the UK corporate governance code says that you should have equal number of executives and non-executives, which is fulfilled over here. It also says that the role of a CEO and a chairman has to be separate. So over here, Michelle Brennan is the CEO and we have Sehan Dogan, who is the non-executive chairman. That is also fulfilled. So good governance exists in the organization. Now the corporate governance code says that there should be audit committee, remuneration committee, nomination committee, risk committee. Nowhere have they mentioned in the pre-scene that these committees exist. So if these committees do not exist, we must look at setting them up, because the UK corporate governance code for listed companies says that it is good practice to have these committees. Audit committee, obviously looking at audit. Remuneration committee, deciding the remuneration for executive directors so that they don't have excessive remunerations. Nominations committee, nominating your managers or directors through the organization to the board of directors. And the risk committee, looking at the risk dealing, risk cycle in the organization. It is recommended to have these committees. It is not mentioned anywhere in the pre-scene that we have them, so I have pointed it out for you. Now we go to Cuppcarr's business model. So they're telling us the business model of the company. We already know the operations, we already know all of that, but they're telling us the business model of this company. So Cuppcarr aims to maintain a high volume of sales of new cars and used cars, which enables the company to maximize profit from car sales and from associated opportunities to provide servicing on customers' cars. So like I said, you try to sell, the volume is the focus for new cars and used cars. Profitability is not the focus for new cars and used cars. Volume is the focus, so that you can maximize profit on associated opportunities, on the next stages. Maintaining high sales volumes in new cars also ensures that Cuppcarr makes the most of the opportunity to earn sales incentives from car manufacturers, potentially granting a cost advantage over rivals. So they have said that we have a value generating process, and we'll go through this. So first, how do we define value? So Cuppcarr provides the retail service required by car manufacturers that have franchised its dealership. It offers a positive experience to customers who buy its new cars and used cars. So how do we define value? By selling cars and offering a positive experience to customers. How do we create value then? Cuppcarr creates ongoing relationships with its customers. We have excellent sales executives and business managers. We have excellent after-sales services as well. And many customers return to buy their next car or come to Cuppcarr because of recommendation from satisfied customers. So how do we create value then? Excellent sales executives, excellent business managers, excellent after-sales service. Now you can use these ideas when you go to mock question writing. Throughout this entire pre-scene, I have given you great ideas and great discussions to include in your mock questions, because this will add integration value. This will add integration marks to your business, to your answers. It is very, very important that you ensure that you work on being familiar with the pre-scene, so that these ideas that you can use in your mock questions. Because if you're not integrating in your mock questions, it's not adding any value. For example, you can start your answer by saying, if you're writing something relevant, obviously, you can start your answer by saying, we create value by having excellent sales executives, as excellent business managers, and offering excellent after sales service. So we cannot compromise on this. If you include this in your answer, it shows integration. It shows you have understood the pre-scene. You're using the pre-scene. Then how do we deliver this value? Cuppcarr assists customers at every stage in the acquisition and ownership of their new and used cars. Customer facing staff are available to advise and assist customers, and our staff is available to book a service or repair through the company's website. And how do we capture residual value then? Last stage, how do we earn for the business? Cuppcarr sells a wide range of new and good quality used cars. Selling high volumes of new cars maximizes manufacturers' sales incentives and then gives you the chance to earn additional commissions or sell your workshop services. The sale of good quality used cars attracts high margin from each sale. We already know that used cars are giving us a higher profit than new cars. So this is my business model, which you can keep in your mind and use in your mock questions. So our P2 topics of value analysis, value engineering, and Porter's value chain come into the picture here, because the business model of defining value, creating value, generating value has been given importance in the pre-scene. So type of questions that have been tested in the past around this concept is digital technology in our ecosystem. What is a digital ecosystem? And suggest one which our company can follow. This is in your E2 syllabus. So with that, we have completed the second part of the pre-scene, which is the operations of my company in detail. Again, your job remains to very carefully go through this analysis, to very carefully go through part 2, understand it, let it sink in, go through it again if you want, so that these ideas remain in your mind and you can use them when you go to mock question writing. That's part 2 of the pre-scene.